Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. And if it's your first time here, I'm Janetta, an author who loves to draw. On my channel, I focus on combining storytelling with art. If that's something you're interested in, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let's get to it. SSMD So It Begins. Chapter 21, Date Night, Part 2. Leah. Leah smiled. How could you possibly see sadness in my eyes when at this moment I'm happy? She deflected the question, thinking now wasn't the time to tell him about her latest and biggest mistake. She held his gaze and kept her thoughts on how happy she was to see him as he tried reading the truth in her eyes. He knew there was something more, but he let it go. Tonight was about them reconnecting and not about her sharing her pain. That time would come, but tonight he wanted to make her smile, and something told him if he pushed, her tears would be inevitable. All right then, how about you tell me what you've been up to over the last 9 years? Did you ever open your own business like you planned? Bakes Me Smile, right? That was the name of the shop you were going to open. Leah was surprised he remembered. She buried that dream deep in the back of her mind, just like all the bakeware in the back of her cabinets. Believe it or not, I don't even bake anymore. Haven't in years, so no, I never opened that business, Leah sighed. What? You are joking, right? No chocolate volcano cupcakes? That is not acceptable. We must right that wrong tonight. Let me get these dishes in the dishwasher, and then we are making an ingredients run. He stood and started collecting their dishes. She stood as well and followed him in the kitchen. Are you serious? Did you not hear me say that I haven't baked in years? I don't even remember the recipe. Sure you do. You made it for me enough times for it to be ingrained in your memory forever. You're hoping so because you want cupcakes. Missed them, huh? He smiled and said, almost as much as I missed you. Eva. I was stuck in a horrible, indecisive cycle. I decided 1 minute to call, and the next minute I changed my mind. I still hadn't decided by the time I arrived home. I spent a miserable evening trying not to think about Mike. By Sunday, I couldn't take it any longer. I needed to talk to him. Before I could change my mind, I dialed his number, hoping it hadn't changed. Hello? He answered. Mike, it's Eva. I hope I'm not calling at a bad time, but I was really hoping we can get together and talk today. No, your timing is good. I actually planned to stop by today because I wanted to talk to you too. Okay, how about we meet for lunch? Say noon at Gino's downtown? Noon works, but Gino's won't work for me. How about that little restaurant we used to go to under the elevated train station? Fine, I'll see you there at noon. I agreed as the red flag went up at him, changing our meeting place to one where we stood little chance of running into anybody who knew us. I arrived 10 minutes early, and Mike was already there waiting. He stood as I approached the table and held the chair for me. That was something he rarely did while we were together. I'm glad we're getting a chance to talk today, I said truthfully. He gave me an easy smile in response, and a rock formed in the pit of my stomach. The waitress came over and we ordered. Once she walked away, Mike reached up and rubbed the back of his neck. This was a sign I knew immediately. It was the sign that he was about to say something I wouldn't like. I sat back in my chair. Just say it, Mike. I couldn't wait until he got around to saying what he needed to say. After I left your place the other day, I went to talk to Rachel. I wanted to set things straight and then come back to you with my house in order. You know what I mean? Yeah, and first, let me say that I do love you, and I wish things could have worked out differently for us. He reached out to take my hand, but I pulled it back. I didn't say anything because I was now waiting for him to drop the hammer. She's pregnant, Eva. Before I could say anything, she told me we were having a baby. I can't leave her now. I felt ill. Everything felt strange. I heard Mike call my name and footsteps behind me, and then I realized I was running like a track star out of the door. He would never leave her now that she was having his child. She knew that, and she knew I knew that. I started running towards my car and turned around. Stay the hell away from me, Mike. Every time you're in the picture, I end up hurt. So, if you ever care for me, even a little, stay the hell away from me. I turned and walked away crying. Chapter 22, Turning Points. Eva. I was 10 steps away from my car when Mike said, Eva, you don't understand. I stopped dead in my tracks, reached up, and swiped the tears from my eyes. An unnatural calm washed over me. I turned around. Tell me, Mike, what is it you think I don't understand? Is it that Rachel is not the first woman who has told her man that she was pregnant to keep him by her side? Or is it that on the unlikely chance that she is pregnant, that she did it intentionally because even though she knew you didn't want children, she knew because of your history you would never let your child grow up in a one-parent home? Rachel isn't like that. She wouldn't lie about being pregnant. And I can't walk out on my responsibilities no matter how much I love you. Who's asking you to walk out? I'm asking you to explain what it is you think I don't understand. This is not a new story, Mike. It's an old and tired one, and short of a miracle, it can't end up happy for any of us, including the make-believe family you're going to make for your maybe baby. So, let me tell you what I do understand. I understand that we are finished, so for the last time, stay the hell away from me. I turned and took the final 10 steps to my car, got in, and drove away. Leah. I have been dreaming of this moment for years, Mario said, taking one bite of cupcake before sitting back and smiling. You haven't lost your touch, Leah. You really should think about opening that shop. The time for dreaming has long passed. I'm all about dealing with reality now. Leah had enjoyed baking in the kitchen again, but she wasn't going to set herself up for disappointment. They sat side by side on his couch in the living room watching a movie while eating dessert. Leah set her plate down on the coffee table. When he put his arm around her, she sat back and snuggled close to his side. In the back of her mind, she wondered what was going to happen tonight, and if she would wake up in his arms. She thought about being the aggressor, but something told her to restrain herself. They talked, laughed, and snuggled until Leah drifted off to sleep on Mario's chest. He thought about waking her, but decided he'd enjoy holding her in his arms. He continued to watch television until he drifted to sleep as well. Leah woke up in his arms the next morning. It hadn't gone down the way she envisioned, but she had no complaints. Sharon. Sharon woke up and found Philip sitting in the chair next to her. He was holding her hand. How are you feeling? He asked her. A little better, Sharon said. I was going to wait until you got out of the hospital and went home, but I've been driving myself crazy trying to figure out what you're not telling me. She frowned. What do you mean? Look, we agreed that we would give this marriage a go, and part of that is that we have to be truthful with one another. I overheard Leah and Eva talking, and they were wondering if you would ever tell me something you were hiding from me. I don't know what they were talking about, but whatever it is, I need to know, and we need to get everything out in the open. Sharon knew exactly what Eva and Leah had been referring to, and she thought about not telling him for a moment, then decided to be truthful. Leah came to me when you first made a pass at her. She told me exactly what happened and how you made it clear that you wanted her. I told her to go for it. What? Philip dropped her hand and stood up. Don't you get sanctimonious with me, Philip. I didn't force you to sleep with her. I just didn't intercede. You had already made a pass at Eva, and now you were on to Leah. Apparently you were in heat, and if Leah hadn't slept with you, you would have gone on to the next person. But if you had come to me in the beginning, this whole thing could have been avoided. Are you serious? This has nothing to do with what I should have done. The whole thing could have been avoided if you had kept your business in your pants and remembered you were married. He stood looking at her for a moment, not sure how to react. Finally, he cursed under his breath before walking out of her room. Hope you enjoyed today's story. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Until next time, be and stay blessed.